Let us try to solve the exercise number 7 in the part A of Advanced Java Lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to design a shopping cart. In this particular shopping cart, we are supposed to add an item and remove an item, as well as we are supposed to display the item. So they have not asked us to edit the items which are there in the shopping cart, only add, remove and display items are being shown. And we are supposed to use the sessions for achieving this. So let's go ahead and let's create a JSP program as specified over here. And let's begin with the shopping cart. I have the NetBeans with me, and I'm going to go to the file and new project. And under this new project, I'm going to go to the Java web here, and I'm going to select the web application. Let me click on the next button to go to the next part. Here we are supposed to give the name of the project. I'm going to give the name of the project as a shopping site. You can give any other name also. Let me click next, and you're free to select the Glassfish or Tomcat, whichever is installed on your machine. Let me click next, and I'm not going to use any of the framework as such, and I'm going to just finish it off. Once that is done, let me start with the project. By default, NetBeans will add a index.html page to our project, which I don't want to use it because in the program or in the question that what they have said is we are supposed to use the JSP. So I'm going to add a JSP to my project. So let's look at, I'm going to click on the project again. And again, if the project is not visible, go here, view, and you get this, go to the window and you get the projects. And under the shopping site, let me click on the plus sign in front of the shopping site. You will see web pages, and you see that index.html. This is a place where you are putting the HTML. So let's click on this part, and as usual, I told many a times. So when you are doing it, your web pages will come under this one, and your Java will come under here. So don't make don't interchange them. It will not compile. Let me click on this one, and let me right click and say new, and I'm going to say JSP. Either you can do it from here, or if it is not visible at this place, you go to the other, and under this dialog box, select the web as your choice, and you get the JSP. Both of them, and this is a longer way to achieve the same result. You would have achieved it by right clicking and selecting JSP. It is much easier. Let me give the JSP name, and I'm going to say this one as a shopping demo as my file name. You can give any other name also, it's up to you. And I'm not going to touch anything, including I'm not going to make any folder. I don't need to create a subfolder. You are free to do it, but I don't think so it is required for this particular exercise. So this is what we have. We have a JSP page called as a shopping demo, and we have the title. I'm going to just change the title, and I'm going to say shopping. I'm going to make it simple shopping, and there is already h1 is there added by the NetBeans, and I'm going to say online shopping. And I'm going to arrange the items in a table. You know very well, table is not the best way of arranging the items. So you have to use CSS, but you know CSS will take still more time during the examination for writing as well as to typing. So I'm going to go with the simplest option, and that is going to be a table. Let me fix its width as 100%. So let it occupy the full screen. So this is my table. And as usual, you are aware, table contains rows. Okay, you are familiar. And table contains a column. You are also familiar with this. Now, in every column, I'm going to put a form. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put a form for every column. So this will be the form. And I'm going to use the method as post. but I'm not going to give any action. If you don't specify the action, that means the form will submit back to the same page. So it's going to come back to the same page. When you click on the submit button, it will come back to the same page. So that is what I wanted, in fact. Now, to make it a bit attractive, I'm going to add a few images to the project. I have few images here which I've downloaded from the net. I'm going to copy them and I'm going to paste it over here. So before I do it, just for understanding, I'm going to, you can directly put the images over here. By the way, always note that anything that you do, you don't touch this particular folder. Don't add anything to this particular folder. It is not your thing unless you know how to change the configuration, that is XML file. Don't touch that part. So don't add images or anything inside this folder. This folder, don't touch that. You touch only the web pages. So this is the folder. Remember, this particular web.inf is inside that folder. This is inside this folder. So don't touch this folder. So that part you must remember. Let me right click on it and I'm going to say new folder. As usual, if the folder is not available, go to the others, and in this dialog box, go down and you will find the others, and under this others, go down and you will find a folder. This is the longest way to reach to the same place. You would have achieved the same by right clicking and selecting the folder, but in case if it's not visible, you must know how to get it. I'm going to call this one as images. That is the name of the folder. So I'm going to create a folder called images under this web. Remember that it is created under this web. So it is, if you notice over here, this particular thing, if I put this down arrow, you notice that there is one folder inside this and there is the other folder inside it, and it is not coming below this. You see this line, I don't know whether it is visible in the video, but there is going to be a line that says under which it is coming. Do not get it under web.info. Even though it is directly coming over here, it is part of this hierarchy. Now let me get those images, and I'm going to use Control A to select all the images, Control C to copy it. So you know, Control A and Control C, and then I'm going to come to this place. I already have selected this page, and I'm going to say Control V to paste that thing there. So I have pasted those images. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to lock this one. Remember, there is a X mark here and there is this one. Okay, dock this. If you clicked on the X mark, go to the window and go to the project, it's going to come, but I'm going to dock this. So docking means you just click on this dock one, it's going to fix itself here. You can come to this area and then you can increase or decrease its size. So this is what you can always do it. After docking, you can do this one. So if you click on this minus sign here, this is going to go back and it's going to stay here. Again, if you want to click it, it's going to come here and you can dock it, not close it, you are docking it. Okay, so hope you understood what I'm doing. I'm docking it. Once I dock it, I want the image to come here. I'm going to click on this Coke here. That's the image, coke.jpg. I'm going to drag it and just leave it over here. So from this place, click on that image, drag and leave it over here. NetBeans will add the image to you. So you get this image, and when you get the images, you may have to adjust the width and height of the images. I'm going to run it and I'm going to show you whether that image is going to fit. In fact, I've taken an image which requires some adjustment. Okay. Let me go ahead with the other part. Now I'm going to finish at least one component and then I'm going to run this particular thing. And I'm going to give the name of this particular product, as you know very well. This is H4. Let me put that H4. And I know this product, you are already familiar by the word, that is the Coke. And then let me click next. And remember, when you use this H4, this information will not be submitted. So you know very well, you studied about forms in your last semester or maybe before that, and you know very well, if you want to submit something, it must be something like input component. It is the ordinary labels or other things will not be submitted when you click on the submit button. So I'm going to put a hidden field here. So I'm going to say input type is equal to hidden. Remember, hidden items are not shown on the screen, but it is there. It is part of the form. It will be submitted when the form is submitted. So the value of this is going to be Coke. Okay. And I'm going to use the name. Name is the variable name. Okay. So name is, you can say I name, but I'm going to just use the name. This is the variable name. So you know very well what is the meaning of saying variable. You are all familiar that variable means int x, where x is a variable. Hope you know that. So this is the variable name. Okay, name itself is the variable name. If you don't like, you put it as I name, but I don't want you to type too many things during the examination, because you have to type that code also, and then write that code and then type it. Okay, so it's going to be a terrible thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's use the next part, and the important part of this is price. Again, I am not putting the original price. The price may be less than this or more than this. This is, again, this is just for explanation. I'm not advertising the Coke or Pepsi or any other things. It's just for advertising, the non-advertising. I'm just putting it there and just showing you that this is how it's going to look like. So don't think that I am advertising them. So let me put one other this one hidden thing. Remember, this is the ordinary text. It will not be submitted. So again, I have to put a hidden field because I want this information to be sent when the form is submitted. So again, the value of it is 35. This is the price value that I want this one to be sent, and the name of this, that is a variable name, is the price. So this is hidden. Okay. I'm going to put a break here so that the next information will come in the line below it. Then I'm going to use a quantity, and in this quantity I'm going to use a input type. Now this time I'm not going to use hidden. This time I'm going to use the number because I allow them to change the value. So name of it is, this is the variable name, quantity. However, I'm going to use the default value for this as a 1, as well as I'm going to set the width of it. That's I think there is a width or size. I'm not very sure. I think width is there as 2. And let me use a style here, inline style. I'm going to do it because I've done it once. So I'm going to use a inline style there, and I'm going to set, this is the style that I'm setting, so that the size of it gets reduced to smaller one, 20 pixel. Okay, I'm just reducing it to 20 pixel. If you're wondering what is it, you know very well, whenever you get the input box, you're going to get the box very large one. I'm going to reduce the size of it as a 20 or 30 pixel, very small input box. I'm going to use it, and then I'm going to put a break here. Okay. And finally I'm going to put a input type is submit. I'm going to use submit. If you want I will put the name. The name is required. Add button is the name of this particular button. I need that variable name because I'm going to test that variable name, and I'm going to use the value as add. It's going to look like add here. And then this is what I have done. Let me run this particular file. It may take slightly longer time because my Glassfish server may not be running. So I'm going to just run it and pause the video and come back to you when the Glassfish is ready. After the bit, the NetBeans has started, the Glassfish has started, and this is how it's going to look like. And purposely, I have told you, I've selected the product in such a way that the image size is quite large. Let me reduce the size of this particular image so that it's going to be reduced. So let me go here, and where the image is added, As usual, you're supposed to write the alt text. Let me make it as Coke. Alt text as Coke, and I'm going to use the height of it as 200 pixel. This I've done it. You may have to, when you have the image, you may have to even reduce the width of that. But for this demonstration, I'm going to use, just to tell you that why I did it is just to tell you that when you get the image, you may have to resize that those images so that it's going to appear properly. So I'm going to just refresh it, and you notice the height is certain. And very few things that you notice over here is that you have the name. Where is this one? You have the name of this product. This is the image that you get. So this is the image that you have it here. This is the Coke that you see. That is the name of the product, and you have the price is shown, but there are two hidden fields that will take up that is used for my form. And very important thing is the this particular thing, that is a text box, so that is the type is number, and you notice that its size is reduced. Okay, so you notice that its size is reduced and it is very small, wherein you are allowing somebody to just add, increase or decrease the numbers. Okay, so very small. If you want to make it as 30 pixel size, if you look at here, where is the quantity? If you, where is this thing gone? Okay, if you want, you can reduce the width of this one as maybe 30 pixel also, but I feel that that's enough. And finally you have this submit button which is coming over here. So this is how it's going to look like when you see it on the screen. Now once you get this one, I'm going to repeat this again and again. So let's go and let's repeat it. I have this TD. I'm going to select this TD to TD. So up to here, I'm going to select it. I'm going to remove this one extra line first of all, that is blank line. So I'm going to select this TD up to TD. I'm going to select that thing. Control C to copy it. So from TD to TD, that is the entire column is selected. And I'm going to press here and press enter twice, maybe to make some line, and then I'm going to paste it. So the only thing I'm going to change is the image. So I'm going to just delete this line over here, because the next time I don't want to show the Coke again. So I'm going to delete this images thing from here, and I'm going to select click on the next image, that is div here, and then drag it and just leave it. So you get that one. As usual, I'm going to give the title, and you know very well, like the one that I have done over here, that is the height that I've reduced it to 20 pixel. I'm going to do it purposely. I've done this one even though it is going to be take slightly longer time for me to demonstrate, but this is just to tell you that when you get the images, you may not get the images in the same size. Let's see to it that you get adjust the height and width of the images so that it fits into the place and it looks nice. Let me change the name of it and there, and then let me say the price of it is 34. Again, I am not giving the exact price of it. When you change the price here in the H4, you have to even change the price in the hidden field here. Okay, the hidden field must also be the same thing, and when you change the name, the hidden field name must also change, as well as when you change the price here in the hidden field, the price must also change. It is two things you must remember. Next part you don't need to bother. I'm going to just save it, and just I'm going to refresh it just to tell you how it's going to look like. Now there are two boxes are there. One is this item and the other one is the other item. Let me get the next one. It is the same thing. After here you're going to just select it, Control C to copy it, and select this whole column TD to TD. You select this TD to TD, Control C to copy it, click on the last line, press enter, Control V to paste it. So you got that one. Now I don't want this image again, so next time I don't want the div to be shown. So I'm going to delete this image, and I'm going to go to the Pepsi and this from here. Again, I have already told you if it is not visible, get it here, and you have to dock that one, not to close it. Drag it and then leave it. So you have this Pepsi here. So Pepsi, and what else? You get it. I need the width of it. Again, I'm a bit lazy in typing, so we'll just copy it from here, Control C, and I just said this. I've done it because I've already told you what is the reason. So let me change the name as Pepsi, and the hidden field name also as Pepsi. Pepsi, what is it? Then let me say this is that is, again, I am not giving the exact price, so don't compare that thing. Let's go here and let me refresh it, and you have this third item being coming there, and the remaining part same. You have this many things. I'm going to add the last part. 4 is enough, don't go beyond 4, because it's not going to make any difference to the examiner. Also, you will waste too much of time in getting this thing done. Okay, so let me delete this image here, and I'm going to pull up this thumbs up, and I'm going to just put it over here, and alternative text, I'm going to say thumbs up. This is not really required, but I'm going to just put it there. Also, I'm going to copy it from here, width, I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to make it as width as usual. This I'm going to make it as that is this time typing. Okay, and I think I could copy paste it very quickly. And the price, let me assume that this is 33 rupees. Again, this is for reference only. Do not that is the price. Okay, that is what I have it here. Let me refresh it, and I have all the 4 products. That's enough for me. I got a shopping cart with the 4 items over here, and then I'm supposed to write it. Now the first question is, when I click on the add, I have to store the information. What are the information that I am supposed to store? I am supposed to store the information of these things. That is the name of the item, the price of the item, the quantity of the item. 3 things I need to save it. And now this time I'm going to create a class called item, and I'm going to store this information in the item. So let me go to this project over here. Very important thing, as I told before, when you do this what is it? HTML part, it is under this. When you do the Java part, it is under this. So it is, always remember, Java comes under source packages. Right click on it, and I'm going to say new, and this time in the source package, I'm right clicking on the source package, right click and say new, and I'm going to go with the ordinary Java class. As usual, you can click over here. If suppose if it's not visible, go to the others. This time it is not the web, it is the ordinary Java. Search for ordinary Java and you get this Java class. Let me click next, and let me give the name of this one as item. This is one item I am representing. This is item, and as usual you are supposed to give the folder. Remember, when you are creating a class, put it inside a package. It's always advisable not to put anything on the default package. So let me click on it, and let me click finish. What are the information that I am supposed to store for this particular class? So for this particular class, I need to create, I'm going to create a private string item name. I'm going to put it as a name itself, and private what else you have int quantity, private int not private, let's say double amount. Okay, the quantity I've taken it as integer, because you know very well you can get half a bottle can of Coke, unless somebody has used it, you can't get that thing. So that is what is, I think, not the amount. Let me make it as price. That will be nice, I suppose. And as usual, I want the getters and setters for this one, as well as I want a constructor for this one. So I'm going to right click and say uh, at this particular place and say add the constructor as well as this one. You can right click and then say insert code. Okay. You have an option for creating the constructor here. If you click on the constructor, this is actually the longest way of doing it, and don't select anything and say generate. It's going to generate a default constructor. If you don't select anything, it's going to create a default constructor. If you want, you can directly create that thing, but I'm going to use all of them because I want it to be done. Suppose if you're not seeing it, how did I do that? Right click on the empty place, go to the insert code, and then go to the constructor. Okay, go to the constructor and select all of them. I want all of them inside the constructor. Click generate, and NetBeans will do the needful thing, and NetBeans will do it much easier than what you think you are supposed to do it. You make a spelling mistake and you are dead from that point onwards. So it is better you get the help of an IDE and speed up the program execution part. So let me right click again on this part, and I'm going to say insert code, and I'm going to go to the getters and setters. So again, on the blank area, just right click and say insert code, and then getters and setters. So if you're thinking why it is NetBeans is helping you with this kind of thing, why you are not writing, remember these tools are meant for real life application. So if you're building a real life application, and if you spend a lot of time in creating a class and creating its constructor and creating an accessor method, the company has to pay you for that, your salary at the end of the day. So if you use the notepad and start typing it, company will simply fire you from your job without even giving you a notice for even 1 day. Okay, so they want somebody, you know very well, everybody doesn't have the time to do something. So when you come to the final year, when you're doing the project, you're finding it too difficult because most of the time you use your favorite notepad plus plus and notepad. So now you're finding it difficult to create your project. That is because you're not used to an IDE, and now you're realizing that you should have used an IDE right from the first semester, so that it was easier for you to get accustomed to this environment. And this is the environment that is used in the real life. So use this one and get used to it. Nobody is going to, in real life, nobody is going to start typing it in notepad, because if they do it, the company may not survive for a very long time, because it has to pay the salary at the end of the day, is it not? So let's come back to this getters and setters methods. It has been done for you, and even during the exam it is done for you, because you notice that it is doing it in the way that professional expect you to type. You see how it is doing it. Okay, this is how you are professionally, this is how you are supposed to create a classes with the proper naming and the proper convention. So this being done, if you want, you can make it serializable and make it as an object. I'm going to make it just implements serializable. It is not really required. Let me make it as implements serializable. This is not serializable. Where is this? Okay, serializable. Okay, from the java.io. This one, so serializable. I'm going to make it as serializable. If this part is not really required serializable, because you're not going to make much of a difference. So this is the item that I've just created, and I'm going to store it here. Now if you want to make it really a bean, just to say that it is a bean, you need a default constructor. Now that's not really required that you have to create a bean, because in one question I just read that there was something called as bean. So you may use that concept. So how do you get a default constructor? It is very simple. You just press Control space here, and then the NetBeans will say that do you want to generate a default constructor? Press enter, and that's it. So you just press Control space and your work is done. It's NetBeans will do the needful thing for you. Let's go ahead and let's save the content. Then let's go ahead and let's use them in the shopping cart. So this is what I have it in the one class. I have it, and now let's start using it in our application. So what happens when somebody clicks on this add button? So that's the first thing. So what am I supposed to do it when somebody clicks on this add button? Because they have used the word here called as session. So I'm going to going to ask this session here. Do you have a shopping cart inside you? So is there a shopping cart for which I can add an item? So I'm going to ask, do you have a shopping cart? The answer the session may give it to me is, I don't know anything about the shopping cart. What are you talking? I don't have anything called a shopping cart. Or the session may say that, okay, I have a shopping cart with me. You can add an item to this shopping cart. Two things. So if you ask the session may say that positively or negatively. It may say that, okay, I have it, or it may say that, no, I don't have it. Okay. If the session says, I don't have it, when you ask the session, do you have a cart there, shopping cart there, in which I can add an item? If the session says that, I don't know anything about this shopping cart. In that case, what are you going to do? In that case, what you're going to do is you're going to create a shopping cart and then give it to the session and then say that you keep this cart with you. Next time, if I ask the question, don't say I don't know anything about it, just give me the shopping cart. So if the session says I don't have the shopping cart, create a shopping cart and give it to the session. If the session says I already have a shopping cart with me, start using it. So this is what I'm going to do it in my code. So how am I going to do that thing? Let me go right at the top of my project. Anywhere you can do it. So before the table, that could be a nice place. Let me add the Java part now, and you know very well how to add this Java part in any case. Okay, you are already familiar. So I'm going to go to the, what is this, what was that? The shopping cart. So that's what I'm forgetting. I'm going to ask this shopping cart. Do you have a, what was the question? Do you have the session? So how do I ask that question to the shopping cart? In order to, sorry, to the session. In order to ask that question, I must know where is the session, is it not? So how am I going to get that session? I'm going to use this request object, which you are familiar in the servlet. I'm going to go to the request object. It is available directly to you. You don't have to create it. The request object comes by default. And I'm going to say, get me the session. So I will ask the this one, get me the session. You notice that it's going to give me the returns the current session associated with your request. So I'm asking first to request, get me the session. First, you must know where is the session, is it not? Then only you can ask. If you don't know where is the session, how can you ask the question? So you go, you get the session. So up to here, you get the session. Then you put the dot here. And then you ask this particular thing. Okay, session, get me the attribute with the name called cart. So this is, give me an attribute with the name cart. Okay, so this is what I am asking it. Okay, if it is there, if the shopping cart is there, it's going to return it. If the cart is not there, remember when the object is not found, you are given Java will return a null. If the object is there, Java will return is that object. If the object is not there, Java will return null. You know very well. Okay, so what is that I'm doing now is I'm asking the session. Okay, session, I first go to this session, request.get session, and then I'm asking the session, give me the cart. Okay, if the session does not have the cart, it will return a null. So if it is returning the null, that means it doesn't have the cart with it. Okay, in that case, what you're supposed to do, in that case, you're supposed to create a shopping cart. Now, what is this shopping cart? In the one of the exercise, you created an array list. I'm going to use the same array list. So I'm going to declare a array list here. So I'm going to say array list. I'm going to use the array list. Okay. I'm going to use this one. If you use the control space, it is going to say, are you talking about array list in the utilities? Yes. So I'm going to press the control space here and I press enter for this java.utilities. So this one, press enter, and what the NetBeans will do is it will add an import statement. This is how you add an import statement at page import java.utilities.arraylist. And you know very well, when you create an array list, you have to create the array list of a type, and the type that I'm going to use is item. Again, Java is not happy with it, but the NetBeans is happy with you, and it's going to say which item are you talking about. If I press control space, it's going to say, are you talking about iterable? No. If I click here, it's going to say, if I click on this bulb, okay, here if you press control space, it may not help you out. If you click on this bulb, it's going to say, are you talking about this item that you just created in your com here? So com for component, you know very well, I use the word com for component short form. So are you talking about this item which is there inside that? So I'm going to say yes, that's the item that I want it to be created. So I have imported it. Just click on it and it's going to import it, and you notice it has already imported this thing at page import that item. It has imported that item. Let me call that item as cart. Okay, that's my cart. So what is my cart? Is an array list of items. So if you don't get that array and other things, this word, one word, it's a list of items. Okay, that's my cart. Is it not? So in this is the variable name. I would have used the word X here, but I'm using the word cart here to make it easy to read and understand. So this cart is equal to the new. Remember this, if the cart is not there, you are going to create a new shopping cart and give it to it. If it is not there, you create a new cart. Okay. If it is there, you use it. So if you have visited this city mall and other thing, they have this basket that is a wheel with what is it, trolley there. So if you don't have it, get a new trolley, and if you have it, put the items into that. So it's simple as that. So I go here and say create a new array list, and array list of items, and I'm going to say items. Okay, and I'm going to use the constructor for this. So that's simple as that. So I created it. So if you don't have it, create one. You just created it. Remember, you have created it, but you have to now put it back. So this, what you've done is, don't think that, okay, I created it. You created it. It is there with you, but it is not there with the session. You created a new item and then give it to the session. So how do you give it to the session? First of all, to give it to the session, you must get the session. How do I get the session? I go to the request and I ask, okay, request get the session associated with me. Okay, I'm going to say session associated with me. Then you know there are two words are there, get and set. I'm going to say set. So you know what is the difference between get and set. Get means get the item, set means set the item. So what is the name? It's a key value pair. The name is cart. Okay, remember, very important thing. These two words must match even in the capitalization. Okay, you are searching for this word as well as you're putting this. If you make this as capital and this is small case, you will always end up in creating new things altogether. So let me go ahead and let me put the value. What is this value? Value is your cart. Okay, what is this cart and what is this cart? So if you are wondering, this is a string. It is a name like XYZ, Maruti, Suzuki, Yamaha. This is a name. It is just a name. India, Karnataka. This is just a name. This is the original item that you have created. This is the original art that you have created. That is just a name. You can use the word X there also. It's up to you. So here what you've done is you created a new cart, and now you are giving that cart to the session by using set attribute. So you put it back to the cart. That is done. Suppose let's say I come back to the same story. You go to this session, you ask the session, do you have a cart with me, with you? So if the session says I don't have the cart, you create the cart and give it to you. If the session says I have the cart, what are you going to do? Get that cart. Okay, so I have the cart, so you say give me that cart to me. I want to add one item to this particular cart. So I'm going to say cart is equal to, remember what is this cart? This is the variable that I've created here. It could have been X here, but I use the word cart there. So I go to the session and I'm going to say request. First request, then ask the request, get me the session associated, set session associated with me. And then you say get attribute. Remember, if this is not null, that means that cart is there with you. Now, very, very important thing, what you write in this string must match. In my case, it is not matching. In the examination, this story will happen to you. So very careful with it. So when you write this word, you can use Control C and Control V. All these three words must match. There is only one problem. Session does not care about the array list or students or employees or other things. For it, it is all object. So you need to typecast this to array list. How do you do it? You know, how do you typecast something into integer? Your C teacher has told you if you want to convert into integer, you just use the typecasting here. But I want it to be typecast as array list. You can type it or you can click on here. If you click here, it may not help you out, but I'm going to typecast it here. Within this, what is that? It has to be typecasted. It has to be typecasted as array list of item. I'm going to just copy this whole thing instead of typing it, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, it is typecasted as a array list of items. It is not integer. Remember what you have kept inside the cart. It is a list of items, that is array list of items. When you get it back, remember when you put the array list or something for the session, it is just an object. So session always returns an object. Suppose if you want to know that thing, if you go here, just for your understanding, if you go here, request dot, if you say get session, where's that session go? Get session, let me put it quickly, get it. And if you say get attribute, you notice that the return type is object. It returns a type of object. It is not going to return array list or something. It doesn't know about array list, because tomorrow you may put an integer value there. Somebody else may put a double value there, float value there. So it doesn't care about it. It just says that for me, everything is an object. It is, whether it is your shopping cart or whether it is your car, bus, truck or anything. For me, everything is an object. So I'm going to return you the object. If you want to treat it like a array list, you typecast it. So simple as that. So now we got the cart. At least we got a cart inside this particular thing over here. And what is that we are going to do? Now we are going to check whether the button was clicked or not. So let's go here and let's do some things. So when the button is clicked, so you notice that this button is clicked, add button is clicked. I want to do something about it. So let me go after this table. After this table, so somebody has clicked on this button. Now what I have is my shopping cart with me. So somebody has clicked on this button. First thing is whether that button was clicked or not. That's the first. I want to ask the request object whether this button is clicked. How do I know that that button is clicked? Remember, when you submit this button, there is a name associated with. This is a variable name and there is a value associated with it. It's going to submit even this variable and this value. That will also be submitted, or that will also be posted back to the page. So after this table, I'm going to put the Java here after this. And here I'm going to ask if, okay, I'm going to go, what was that name of that thing? A request. So I'm going to say to my request. So hey request, give me the, what you say, add button status. So how do I say add button status? So I'm going to go to this request object. And I'm going to say get this parameter. You know, all these things what are set here is a parameter, and I'm going to use the name of the parameter as add button. So give me the value of this add button. Okay, if, what is the meaning of this is, if this button is clicked, if this button is clicked, some value will be there. If the button is not clicked, it will be null. So if it is not null, what is the meaning is, if the button is not clicked and if the page is loaded, then it will return null object. You know very well, when you request for an object, either you get the object, or if the object is not there, you will get the null. Suppose if you are not getting a null value, that means that object is there. But the meaning of it is somebody has clicked on that button. So if somebody has clicked on that button, you have to take action. If this thing, when you request what is the status of this, give me the value of this parameter, and that is the add button. If you ask what is the value of add button, and if the request object says that I know nothing about this add button, nobody has clicked on that add button, then forget it. So nobody has clicked on that add button means you are luckiest one. If somebody has clicked on that add button, that means it is not null. Somebody has clicked on it. Then you take the action. What action are you going to take? So first thing I'm going to check is the quantity. Remember, this quantity that you have here is, even though I gave very small space for the user, but the last benches who are there, what they will do is they will give the values -1. So if the value is -1, what will happen is, instead of adding, you will subtract it. So I just want to check whether the quantity itself was -1. If it is -1, I'm going to just stop and say that, see, this is not allowed. Okay, so simple as that. So first I'm going to get the quantity. So I'm going to go over here, and I will take an int. I think I taken it as an int quantity. So I'm going to go here, request dot, what is the request dot get parameter. Okay, do you have a request dot parameter? What is the name of that particular thing? Okay, name of this, where is that I am supplying the quantity. Name of this, if you notice that input type number, name is quantity. So I am searching for the quantity, and you know very well, if you do this one, NetBeans or the Java will say that I cannot convert it into integer. So you have studied about boxing and other things. So I'm going to go here and say integer dot parse enter, and I'm going to say, okay, this one, integer dot parse enter, that I got it. Okay, this one I got it. Now I got the quantity. I'm going to just check whichever is the item over here. I'm going to check for the quantity. If the person has given the quantity, if the quantity is negative, that is less than 0, then I'm going to say to the user that it is not allowed. So how do you say that? I'm going to say out.println. Okay, print or print line, whatever it is, println. Okay, you are happy with that. And I'm going to use, because it is HTML and I am supposed to use this HTML tag, let me use h4, and I'm going to say please enter, please please enter a positive quantity value for quantity. Okay, done. And I'm going to close that h4 there. Okay, that being done, h4 is closed, but I think I can give some make it as red color. How do you make it as a red color? Let me use the style equal to, color red. You write that color red. Okay, so this is how, if you're wondering what is this, I'm going to just take this one. If you're wondering what is this, I have typed, I'm going to take this one, Control C. Okay, I'm going to go to the Java side here. Okay, outside this is Java, and just paste it here. This is what I'm typing. Okay, h4 style color is red, and please enter the quantity. So this is what I've typed there, but only problem with this is there is a double quotes inside double quotes. So you escape this double quotes, you escape this double quotes. So here you notice that there is already a double quotes. You have to escape it when you get it to the Java. So I'm just putting a backslash there, so that I escape the thing. Okay, just press enter, and let me, for my satisfaction, let me click on this one, and I'm going to make this quantity as -1. You will not be able to see this as -1 because I purposely gave this one as 2. Okay, you notice that I don't know whether you will be able to see that thing. -2 I think is the value now. let me add this item, and you notice please enter a positive quantity for that one. So if for anything if you add negative, you get that message, please enter a positive quantity value for the quantity. So that being done, if the quantity is not a negative, let's go ahead with the other part. And what is the other part? If it is the quantity is positive, you get the name of the item, the price of the item, put it into the session. That is it. So first let me get the name. I'm going to say string name of this item. Is how do you get the name of this item? You go to the request. So you go to the request dot get parameter. You go to the request dot get parameter, and you ask the question, what, give me the name of this item. So remember, what is the name of the item? If you look at here, you gave in the hidden field, you gave the name of this item as thumbs up or whatever it is. This is the variable name. This is the variable name. So I'm going to use the control C here, and I'm going to get the name. I got the name here. Next one I'm going to use is a string. What else? I want to is the price, is it not? So get the price of the item. Okay, how do you set the price of the item? You just go there and get the price of the item. This price is not this one. No. So double, not this double. Let me use this. Did I use double? Okay. Price is equal to, I'm going to parse a double dot parse, and I'm going to go to the request, and I'm going to get the parameter, and what is the name of this particular parameter? Let me go and check for the name of this parameter. The price that I've used is the name of this is price itself. So I'm going to search for the price. So I got it. Then okay, you got the name, you got the price. You generally what you do is you create a new item and then put everything inside it. So how do you create it? You say item. Let me say item. If you want, I can. This is item, ITM. I'm going to use the smarter form, ITM. That's a variable name. You can use X also. Okay. Is equal to new item. Okay. And what is it? The name. Next one, let me say name, quantity, price. Okay. NetBeans has done it for me. Okay, it is done. Okay. And generally, and what you are going to say is you are going to add that thing to the shopping cart. This is what you are thinking. Okay, if the item is not there, you just if the quantity is positive, you add this item. But there is one minor problem. What is that minor problem? What if the item is already there? So what is the meaning of this is I go here and add one item, nothing is going to happen. Again I feel like, okay, let me add one more item, one more. So this is not a new item, it is just the quantity is increasing. The quantity is 2 now. Next time if I click, the quantity is 3, quantity 4 and something. So before I add something into the shopping cart, I must first check whether that item is already there in the shopping cart. If the item is already there, you have to just increase its quantity. Okay. If the item is not there, then create the item. So this what you are doing is you just think that, okay, if the item is not there, you just create the item and do it. But there is a story is slightly different. What is that? What is that story is you may have the item already there in the shopping cart. In that case, what you are going to do, you are going to first search for the item. If the item is there, you increase its quantity. If the item is not there, then you create the item. So how am I going to do it? So let me check whether the item is already there by going through the shopping cart. So I'm going to create a boolean variable here, boolean, and I'm going to say is the item found. Okay. By default, I assume that item is not there. So I'm going to say false. By default, item is not there in the shopping cart, but I have to get the confirmation, is it not? So I'm going to use a for loop here. For int I is equal to 0 from the first item to the items which are there in the shopping cart. So I less than, you know very well, shopping cart is called as cart. How did I know that it is cart? Because let me go over here, because I have right at the top, I created a cart here. I asked the session if you have a cart and so on and so forth. I did a lot of things there. So I have a cart with me now. When I come here, the cart is there with me. So I'm going to ask this cart, give me the size of it. Okay, so until all the items which are there in the shopping cart, you just go on searching for the items which are there in the shopping cart. So you get one item from the shopping cart. How do you get one item? I'm going to say item is equal to go one item at a time. I'm going to go to the cart and I'm going to say get the item at ith position. Okay, I, you know very well, is the index number. So when I is 0, first item, so you have lot of items in the shopping cart. You go, when I is equal to 0, you give me the first item. When I is 2, you ask and say give me the second item, and so on. So you keep on getting one item from the shopping cart. Okay, item at a time. As long as this for loop is there, you keep on getting one item, and from this one item, you just check whether that item has the same name as the name that is specified over here. So what I'm going to do is slight variation. I do not, instead of typing it again and again, I'm going to just cut this one and I'm going to just place it here. The reason why I placed it here is I want the name of the item. So I'm searching whether Coke is there. So here, what is that I'm doing is I have the array list here, the list of items in my shopping cart. So what I'm doing is at every iteration of this for loop, I'm getting one item. So from this item, I just check whether that Coke is there or whether the what else thumbs up is there and so on. So I, within one item, I just check what is the name of this item, whether that name of the item is matching with the name that is the item name that is given to me. If the Coke item is already there or if Pepsi is already there, then I will increase its quantity. Yeah, I will not add a new Pepsi or new Coke. If the Coke is already there in the shopping cart, I just increase its price. I'm not going to add one more item or a new item into the cart. So I get this item from the shopping cart, and in this, where is it gone? In this thing, I'm going to check if, okay, item this is the item, I got it, remember this is the item. So item dot get name, I'm going to ask the name of it. If that name equals to the name that the user has requested, so if that name is equal to this name, so what is two things that I am doing is, so from your shopping cart, you got one item here, you got one item here. Now I am asking this item, that item which you got from the shopping cart, I'm asking what is the name of this item. If this name is equal to the name that the user has given me, that is when you submit this the form, when you click on this form, this name is going to go, it's not Coke or anything, whether this name is matching with the name which is there in the cart. So whether this name is matching, whether this name is matching with the name that is supplied, what is there in the cart. If they are equal, that means that item is already there. If you go and search for an item in the shopping cart, and if you find that Coke is already there, that Coke he has already added or Pepsi has already added, then you don't add one more item there. You just increase its quantity. He or she wants to increase the quantity. So what I'm going to do here now is, okay, I'm going to increase the quantity. How do I increase the quantity? First, I have to get that quantity and then I'm going to set the value. So remember, first get that quantity. What is the original? He may have 3 or he may or she may have 4 Pepsi cans in the shopping cart itself. You add one more, that means 4 plus 1. How many items already is there? For that, you add the additional quantity. So if they may have 10 cans, one more, that means 11. First, you get that thing. So you go to the item and you say set the quantity. What is the quantity? Set the quantity is equal to, okay, already how many are there? So go to the item and say get the quantity. Okay, for this add additional quantity already which is there in your shopping cart. So you may have 4 items, 4 Pepsi cans may be there, or 4 Coke can, or 5 Coke can may be there. For that additional quantity is added. So I hope you get that idea that what I'm doing. Okay, and I have to give some message to the user, is it not? So I'm going to say out dot print ln. What is this? Out dot print ln. This my word is proper. What is this happening? Out dot print ln, and I'm going to steal it from. I think I can steal it from here only. Why to write and waste time? It's already there. And the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this color as blue. The only thing is in blue color. Let it come in blue color because, and I'm going to say what is this? Not please enter item. Okay, item. Let me put that one. Okay, added to the cart. Okay. Now the only problem is which item, is it not? How do you get to which item? You know where you have to break this string. So if you just say item added to which item, you will say the item is general. So I have to give the specific name. So I'm going to break this. Remember, I just copied it from here and then say item. The color is blue now, and I'm going to say here break it. How do you break it? Two double quotes, two plus sign, and the name. So item, what was the name? If it is Pepsi, it is a Coke or anything. Item Coke is added to the cart. Item Pepsi is added to the cart. This is how it's going to come when you run this. Okay, so this is the what you have done. So you found an item. Remember, you found an item. So what you are going to say? Item is found. Remember, this is a, if you are able to get an item is found. I have a boolean value over here. I'm going to say item found is true. You found an item, and remember, there is only one item is there. So if you get the Pepsi one here, it's over again. There is no need to search. Is there a Pepsi again? If the Pepsi is there, there will be only one entry for that. Only quantity is changing. So I'm going to break this for loop. The minute I get something, there is no point in going to and searching for other item, whether other items are also Pepsi or other items maybe something else. Okay, I'm going to break this for loop, and I'm going to come out of this for loop. Let me come out of this for loop. Remember, this is my for loop. You see that NetBeans is highlighting and saying that that's a for loop. I come out of this for loop, done with that for loop. Once I come out of this for loop, I'm going to say if item is found. If the item is found, well and good, you are happy. If the item is not found, okay, if the what is this? If the item is not found, if the item is found, you are going to get something. Am I coming out of this if statement? No. Then how come it is saying that I am not able to get to this not found? Okay, cannot find the symbol. Did I go out of this one? Okay, so this it's not saying item. Let me do it one more time. I capital item found. Okay, now it got it. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes it just says that I can get it, but I'm just checking whether I'm out of the scope, whether I went out of the brackets, and if I go out of the brackets, you know, I'm going out of the scope, and I may not be able to find that item. So if that item is not found, remember, if the item is already there, you search the entire cart and you find that Pepsi is not there. So you could not get the Pepsi here. Item, if the Pepsi was there, you would have changed this quantity. Now Pepsi is not there, that means it's a new entry. It's the first time you are adding. If the item is found, you are happy. The item is not found, create a new item and then add it. So as simple as that. So I'm going to just copy these two things. and just going to paste it here. This is a small twist in that if the item is not found, then create an item and do it. Now only problem is I may not be able to get this. I think I'm just checking whether I'm going out of scope. What is the meaning of saying out of scope is because I'm putting this bracket. If I close the bracket, those variables may not be available to me. I think all the variables are available. So if the item is not found, I create a new item. Only thing that I have to get is the price. Remember, I have the quantity with me. I got the quantity right at the beginning. I have the name of the item with me. Only thing I didn't know was the price. Then I got the price there. That's not the end of it. I created a new item and I have to go to this cart, and I'm going to say add item. And what's the name of the item is item. This is a variable that I'm adding. This is a variable. Purposely I gave item and not item. I gave the different name here just to tell you that this variable is being added, not the other one. As usual, I'm going to give a message to the user saying that I have added this item to the shopping cart. So let's just see whether we are able to get all these things in action. So let me go here and let me press refresh this whole thing. I'm going to add an item, and you must div. Okay, so I think I should have used one space here, though this is going to be a terrible problem. Just one space here, just one space here. After this name, just put one space, otherwise it's going to be a problematic thing. You see that it's coming close to it. One space will suffice. Let me start over again. One item is added, one item is added, one item is added. Suppose if you make it as -1, you must get please enter a positive quantity. You add it. You somehow, after long struggle, you are able to add this item. And what is that they have said is you must display the shopping cart. That's the next challenge. Display the shopping cart, and I'm going to display it using a table itself. So first of all, I'm going to check whether there is any item in the shopping cart. Remember, only I'm going to remove all these extra flower brackets, which doesn't make any sense to anyone. Okay. Done. Now I'm going to just check whether there is any item in the shopping cart. If there is an item, you show the shopping cart. If there is no item, don't show a blank shopping cart. Okay, you may use a if statement for doing that thing. So I'm going to say cart dot size. What is the size of the cart? If the size of the cart is greater than 0, that means if you have added any item in the shopping cart, then you are going to write some HTML. You are going to design some HTML, and then you are going to say that there are some items in the shopping cart. Remember, I have splitted this part and I have splitted this part. Whether I'm not sure whether it is going to show it on your screen. This is Java part and this part is also Java part. In between, I'm going to add HTML part. Okay. So this if statement is there covering that whole. How you're doing it in PHP, the same story I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start with H2 and I'm going to say cart details if it is there, and I'm going to use a table. So let me use a table, table, with the border equal to BORD. It's not giving up because these are all deprecated. Okay, so it is. They expect you to use what is that? Style sheet. Okay, let me put the heading here. I'm going to put the heading. Remember, I'm showing the items here. So item name and TH quantity. Okay, I use a Qt quantity. Let me say quantity because it's a heading. Is it not? So let me use a th and I'm going to say unit price. and I'm going to show what is this th. I'm just showing the value. Okay, total. Okay, that's it. If you want, you generate the grand total. I'm not going to do it. They have not asked us to do it. This part is Adhika Prasanga. You are doing it. So they have not asked you to show the total, but just for brevity, I'm doing it. So total, I'm just showing the total because it's not going to make much of a difference. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go through all the items which are there in the shopping cart. You will iterate through all the item one after the other, and you are going to show them one after the other to the user. So this is the only thing that you are going to do it. So let me go ahead, and if one row at a time you're going to do it. So now it is a time that you are going to use the what is that you are saying this what is it Java in that. My mind is not working now. Okay, so let me put some Java here, and I use for loop. So for I is equal to 0 for all the items. Now you are supposed to show the this one. Let's make it as int I. You are supposed to show the items which are there in the shopping cart, right? Is it not? So you're supposed to show those items. For I is equal to 0, I less than cart dot size, I plus plus. Okay, you iterate through all of them. Okay, get one item at a time. Get item is equal to from the cart. Get get the item at the index I. Get the ith item from the cart. It's like you go to the cart, get one item at a time. In the for loop, you get one item at a time and show their details. That's all. You are go to the second item, show their details. So get one item at a time and show it. This I think is a class, so it is I. So get one item at a time and then start showing it one after the other. So you get the item and show the item. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break. Remember, I want to show the HTML here, so I'm going to break this thing, and I'm going to start over here. So in between, now what is that? You can put it. Okay. So in between. So remember, this is Java. This is Java. In between is your HTML. So I'm breaking it. This for loop, you notice that the for loop is there covering that Java. How you're doing it in PHP, that's the same story over here. So let's start with the tr. Okay, and td as usual. Td, one column at a time. Td, and what is the value you're going to show? How do you show the value? You know very well. This is equal to. Okay, this is how you show the value. So that is simple as that. You show the value like this. If you want to show the value, this is how you're going to do it. So I'm going to go to this item, and I'm going to say get the name of the item. Okay, this is one column. I'm not going to waste my time in typing the second one. Second column is not the item name. Second column, I'm going to say get what was the second item name, item quantity. So next one, get quantity. Done. Next one, I'm going to paste it, and next one is I think price, unit price. So item dot get price. What is the next column? Next column is the total. How do you, what is the total quantity into unit price? That is the total. So how do you get that one? Is you get this one. I'm going to copy paste it, and you know very well I'm good at copy pasting it. So Control C and star quantity into price. I'm just copy pasting it. Okay, quantity into price. At the end, what I've done is quantity into price is total. Quantity into unit price is your total. Okay, if you want, you go for a grand total. I'm not doing it because it is not asked. You know very well, doing Adhika Prasanga during the examination could be disastrous. Okay, let me show you this cart now. Let me save it and let me show you the cart. Okay. Let me press enter and let me show you the cart. Okay, you have this cart here. Can you see here? If I add, if you notice that Coke is already there, if I add the Coke, quantity of the Coke is 2. if I add one more Coke here, quantity of this Coke is 3. You notice that thumbs up is not there in the list. This is a new item. I'm going to add thumbs up is going to come. Only problem now is with your question that they have asked. What is the question they have asked is you must be able to remove the item. So you have left with one more challenge, and that one more challenge I'm going to add it here, and I'm going to say th, and I'm going to say what is the action that you're going to take. So let me refresh it by pressing it here, press enter. The action, if I'm going to put a button here, if you click on that button remove, this item will be removed. Remember, they have not asked me to edit an item. I'm sticking on to their word, except that only Adhika Prasanga that I've done over here is I'm getting the total, which they have not asked me, but as a good student, you can do that. Okay, it's entirely left to you that you calculate the total. Nobody is going to deduct the marks if you don't calculate the total, because it is not asked in the question. You can always fight for that. You can always say that it's not asked in the question, so I'm not going to find the total. It is justified. Nobody can find the fault with that. But I don't think so. Adding one line will take hours together, unless and otherwise you have by-hearted that and you are typing something. If you are thinking and doing it, it is a child's play. So let's go ahead and let's add a TD here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form now. So form, I'm going to create for all form. Okay. If you want, you say method is post. Again, I'm not putting an action. I want it to be submitted to the same one. This is a new form that I'm adding, and I want to know which item is being deleted. So I must know which item number. I'm going to take the item number. Remember, when you run this for loop, for I is equal to 1, for I is equal to 2, what is that I'm getting? So this is an array list. You can think it like an array list. So what is this 0? This is the index number. 0 is the index number. 1 is the index number. So I'm going to say remove the item at that index location. Now, yeah, in the array you have this indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and the values. So I'm going to remove that index. So I must know which is the index that is there. How am I going to do it? I'm going to put an input here, input, and I'm going to say type is hidden. Remember, I'm going to use a hidden. I'm not going to show that thing to the user. What is the value? So value is this index number that I'm using. Okay, how do I get this value? You know very well, this is from the Java. If you want to get something from the Java, use this one. This is the index ith value. This I'm getting it from the Java. Remember, if you want to get from the Java, use this tag to get it from the Java. So get this one. I want to give the name, and the name is, I'm going to say item number. Just for confusing you, I'm putting that name, item number. It's not anything. Okay. So item, I would have given index number or the item number. I number is the item number, and I need a button naturally. So I'm going to say input. Okay, type is submit. I'm going to use this word submit. Value is remove. I need the name of this button because there is already add button is there. So I definitely need a button, and I'm going to say remove button. Very lengthy name I put. I'm just going to do this one. So let's look at it. I'm going to just refresh it. Remember, the session is already there with me. As long as I keep this browser open, the session will be there. Okay, so I press here. Now you got this remove button. So if you click on this remove button, this item has to be deleted. If you click on this remove, this item has to be deleted. If you click on this remove means one item has to be removed. I'm going to make it as capital, just to make it beautiful. You know very well. Just make this one capital. Remove, this is just a name, not the this is the value that is being shown. So it looks professional kind of thing. Okay, this is remove. Okay, remove it, it has to be removed. So let's go ahead and remove the item. So how do you remove this item? First of all, I'm going to go right at the top and I'm going to do it. Remember, it is no point in removing the item after showing the, what is that, what do you say that, the cart. If you remove the item, what is if you show the cart and then remove it, then it will not be highlighted there. So right at the top, before I add this item, I'm going to just do it. So here I have this add I've done. So if the add button is clicked, you are going to do it. Okay, I would have done it before that also, but before that, I don't know where is the closing bracket and where is the opening bracket. You know very well. From here onwards, you are adding the item. Okay, so before adding, I want to check whether you want to remove the item. See the thing. Okay, so I'm going to say if the story is same, you go to the request and you ask get parameter. Okay, and you say which is the parameter that you are interested in. Okay, so you are interested in this parameter. What is the parameter? So if here you say add, if the add button is clicked, you do it. Here I'm going to say if this remove button, remember I'm double clicking on it and copying it, this name must match, and it is case sensitive because it's Java. You must remember that it is case sensitive always. So you say if this remove button is clicked, if it is not equal to 0, it is not having some problem. Have I typed something wrong? It is saying that nonsense, I'm not getting anything, or what you are typing. You should not get this kind of squiggly red color, because if it is oh sorry, this two double equal this is correct. If it is not equal to, sorry, I put double equal there. So you know very well, NetBeans will immediately tell you that oh, you have written nonsense. It cannot be a Java statement. So now let me come back to this. If the remove button is clicked, that means to say that if you have clicked this remove button, then remember, along with this remove button, you are also supplying the index value. Remember, this is hidden, but it is there. It is hidden. It's there, hidden but not shown to the user. You don't see it. If you look at the source code here, you will see in the source code that hidden button is there. So button number, item number 3 value is there. Value is there. That hidden is there, but it will not appear on the screen here. To the user, it is not going to appear. For a developer like you, you can figure out that that is there. Okay, that story is different. Let's not go into the theory behind it. So first get that index number. Remember, you are supplying this index number, is it not? You're supplying this index number. So let's get that value of that index. Where is that? I think I script too many things. Okay, let me say int index. I'm going to use the word index. This is a very lengthy word. Remember, it's an integer value. You know very well, if it is an integer, you have to box it, unbox it. You have done a lot of boxing and unboxing in your theory class. So, but I have not done it. But I know that something of that type is there. So I'm going to go to the request and I'm going to ask for the parameter. Get me this parameter. What is this parameter that I am asking it? What is this parameter? Look at this one. Go down and search for this parameter. What is the name that you have given? I number. This is the name. This is the parameter that is getting passed. I number. When you click on the remove button, I number will also come. I'm going to just copy it. Control C to copy it. Go up. I think I went too much. I know it is very difficult to see somebody scrolling. When you record a video, if you scroll very fast, it is too irritating, but I have to do it. Somehow I don't have the option. So I got the index number. So I got, what I got is from the array list, I got the index number, whatever it is, I got the index number. Now I'm going to go to the cart and I'm going to tell the cart, get rid of that item. How difficult it is to do that thing with the array list, you know very well. With the array list, it is just a child's play. Cart is already there. Remember, when you come here, cart was already there. Right at the top, I have asked this session, do you have the cart? And if the session says I don't have the cart, create a new cart. If it's already there, use the cart. If I've given that story to the, I told you that story before. So cart, and what you're going to say, remove this item. Okay, remove the item. What? Remove the, let's let's look at this. Remove that item at this index. Remember this index is int. Look at this one, index is int. Remove this item, so add this index, and NetBeans is intelligent enough to guess that thing. Now I'm going to tell the user item is removed. Okay, so how do you say that thing is, I'm going to use this control C from here, this out dot print line, that thing. Okay, and maybe, oh, I think I use the red color. I'm going to use the green color. Is it a green? Is okay, I don't have other choice, and I'm going to say item is removed. I'm going to say item. I don't want to get the thing there. Item is removed. Okay, I don't want to make it too complicated. Okay, it is going to be a terrible thing, and you will run away from this kind of program. So I'm going to make it as a item is removed. I'm going to make it as a too simple. Okay, it's otherwise this is part A. You know that, and it is taking too much of time even for the part A. So I politely I say item is removed. Which item? Forget it. It's going to make still. Then I have to search for an item and then get the item. It is item is removed. Okay, simple as that. Let's go here, and I'm going to press enter here, and let's give it a try. I'm going to give the div from here. So mountain div is down. It is down. You see that. Pepsi is down. Pepsi is down. Thumbs up is down. Remove it. Coke is down. You don't see the cart. Why you don't see the cart is because of this condition. Remember, I'm showing the cart only when its size is greater than 0. So that's why I purposely, let me remove this one. Purposely I said that if the cart size is greater than 0, then only show it. Otherwise, don't show the cart. This is what I've done it. That's why it's not showing the cart. And you get just item removed. Oh, say this D is English is a funny language, and where is this English story goes? Let me, item is removed. Okay, you may, if you ask which item, remember this is part A. If you ask that question, which is this item, I'm going to say this is part A, and they don't waste too much of time in part A. So let me add an item. The item is added. Okay, let me add an item. The item is added. I'm going to increase the size of the Coke. So Coke is 1 now, and the price is 35. I add one more Coke. Coke is 2, and 35 into 2 is 70. You get that one. I want to remove the Coke. Coke is removed. I want to add thumbs up. It is added. I want to add one more thumbs up. It is added. Can I add 5 extra quantity of thumbs up? 5 added. 5 added. Okay, and the price you're going to get it. That's done. Remove entire thing. Remove entire thing. Add one more item. Add one more item. It's working. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next class.